I'm sorry if the video got disconnected. Uh, so I'm gonna upload the first section. I will upload this section, and you're gonna have two sections here. Okay, so let's continue. I was talking about the fact that all of the labs will be recorded, pre-recorded. Your TAs will record some data for you, and we'll definitely upload them. We will definitely upload them in that folder that is specific to that lab. So if there is any problem, if you cannot make it to the lab, or if you just want to use this class as an online class, you should be able to uh, have access to those recordings. And I'm going to upload all of those recordings on the Monday before that, sometime before that, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday before the lab, or the actual lab. So lab 1 is on Tuesday. It will definitely be uploaded on Monday. And lab 2 is on Thursday. It will definitely be uploaded sometime before Thursday. So let's go over the syllabus. You definitely know me, and I know you guys. You don't need an introduction for the instructor information part. Your TA's name is Fateme Hashemian, and here is her email address. You can always contact her about the labs and about your grades. And there is no required textbook. Lecture notes and handouts will be shared on Blackboard. And the meeting time for the class is gonna be Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 9:30 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Today's class is gonna be much shorter, and of course it's gonna be much shorter, and maybe like 10-20 minutes, not more than that. And the meeting location is gonna be for the lab is gonna be mostly in the aerospace lab. Hopefully, we want to keep everything inside the aerospace lab, or 300 main. We are not gonna meet at McNair at all this semester. All of the experiments will be done in 300 main. Course topics we are gonna have, hopefully. So this is the part that we need to discuss, is that our wind tunnel is not renewed yet. So it is on it is not renovated yet. Okay, and our orders are all on back order. They have promised us that it will be ready by the time we want to conduct the experiments that are dedicated to the wind tunnel, and I have pushed all of the wind tunnel analysis to the end of the class. But we'll get there. We'll talk about the schedule of the labs in a little bit. Okay, we will have some vibration testing. We will have some numerical the introduction to numerical simulations using different methods and different softwares. We will see a numerical wing box design analysis, and we will talk about the control systems in the Aerospace program. We will see a visualization of a control system, of a fluid flow control system, and you will design using a MATLAB code pitch angle control system. If we had the time, we will talk about aerodynamic heating and its simulation. It is not possible to do aerodynamic heating in the lab, at least in the labs we have. So we have to do the simulation. And in general, you will see a lot of programming. Hopefully, you will see a lot of programming and numerical design in this lab. Make sure to go over the course outcomes. The goal of every course you take is to get you up to speed as far as the course outcomes goes. The lab schedule. We're gonna start with an uncertainty analysis. It's essentially, we will review the statistics that we went over in lab 1, and I'm pretty sure you have had a course on statistics as well. And it's a very simple test, which I will talk about in your first lecture. It will be a very simple test and just uncertainty analysis. Then we will move on to the Euler buckling. So we have already purchased the device. So what I've done, since we did a shell buckling, I'm going to keep the shell buckling test for the lab one, and they will do some DIC analysis on it. If you guys were interested, we can do the DIC analysis and shell buckling. We have a device, we should be able to use it now. But that's going to be outside of the lab course, okay? But the Euler buckling testing, we have purchased the device and we should be able to do it. Then we will have a lab called the motion lab that compares the linear and the rotary motion. We'll talk about the theory and everything. We'll move on to a vibration lab. The motion lab, vibration lab, and also the uncertainty analysis labs are the labs we share with mechanical engineering. Okay. And the second lab is your pitch angle control, in which you will see this lab is going to be actually 2 weeks. So I have to revise the syllabus here. Your pitch angle control. So we will have a week of 2 weeks of control labs in general. Okay. So we have the pitch angle control, and we will have the fluid flow control I will discuss. The pitch angle control part is going to be numerical. The fluid flow control is mostly just a visualization. You don't need to write a lab report or anything. Then we will move on to the wing box design and analysis. In the first week of this numerical analysis, you will learn about finite element analysis. And the finite element analysis is mostly used for mechanical testing simulation, essentially. And we will become familiar with the ANSYS software. And we will talk about the meshing, the process, all of those things. And then for the lab 7, we will move on to the real analysis. Okay. Lab 8 is going to be heat transfer lab, in which you essentially will learn how to use a thermocouple. I'm pretty sure at this point some of you know how to use a thermocouple. And we will measure the conductivity of different materials. This is a lab we share with mechanical engineering as well. So the next 4 labs are essentially going to be the wind tunnel labs. If you have all the devices in, this is the plan. The first lab is the lab that we are going to do the body layer measurements and analysis. And for the lab afterwards, we are going to do aerodynamic force analysis. This lab itself may take a long time, so we may need to have 2 labs for this. Essentially, what I want to do, what I'm going to want you to do in this lab is going to be to measure the drag and lift on different aircraft models that we are going to have at different angles of attack, which is going to help you help you draw the CL versus alpha, the drag polar, all of those things for different angles of attack. And this is going to be the plan. So we have done this before for one airfoil numerically using the Xfoil software, but we are gonna do it experimentally this time. And then we are going to have some sort of a simulation, aerodynamic force analysis. Those of you who have had heat transfer with me, this lab is going to be pretty similar to what you have already done as a course project. Of course, this lab is going to be easier, much easier compared to what you have already done. And we will probably only use the ANSYS software this time instead of the OpenFOAM. We'll talk about finite difference, finite volume, and yeah. And the aerodynamic heating part, I don't know if we are going to have enough time to do this, but we'll see. This is a very complicated matter, so I may remove it altogether, the simulation. Everything is very complicated, but this is a knowledge of aerodynamic heating is going to be very useful to you guys, because of if you are interested in space applications, especially because aerodynamic heating is, if not The biggest concern is one of the uh, most important concerns during the re-interview process. And the week 14, we're gonna have the final presentations. So grading policy, I have removed the homeworks. You know the deal. You know the formatting and everything. Make sure to go over the syllabus. But I've changed the grading format a little bit. We are gonna have quizzes instead of homeworks, and these quizzes will be posted on Fridays. So for Fridays, you essentially don't need to come to class. All of the exams are online. I'm gonna post this online. You will get 15 minutes to answer the quiz, and the quizzes are gonna account for 20% of your grade. And we also gonna have more lab reports this time compared to the other time. Just keep in mind that we will talk about each lab report when it comes, but my expectation from you is gonna be a little more relaxed this time. So I'm not gonna expect you to write a full report. Maybe just we will talk about this when we get to each specific lab, and we will have an oral presentation. We will talk about the oral presentation when it gets closer to us. And as you all know, but at this point, the engagement in the lab is very important for me. I want you guys to ask questions. I want you guys to send me emails. And I want you guys to be up to speed in each lab. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with the online section of the class or not. So we're going to have 20% of the lab of the grade as engagement. I guess that's it for today. It's a total of like 20 minutes of class time. It's a slow Friday essentially. We are going to pick up the pace Monday, hopefully. And yeah, that's it. See you all pretty soon. Stay safe. Make sure you wear your masks.